Hello everyone and welcome back to the third episode from Iskalia, and we are starting things off at our starter island. Yeah, in the last episode we have started this building that will eventually become the main building of the entire island, and at this moment this building houses our first major contraption, the villager breeder and the villager trading hall, and it actually works pretty well. This halls, man. Oh my. As I've said, it works pretty well, and as you can see, we have pretty decent amount of villagers. Because 1.14 for Spigot is just around the corner, we have to push to the trading ACP, because if you have ever traded with a specific villager, he will keep his profession and his trades. But if we have a villager that will become useful only since 1.14, we don't have to keep him, because in 1.14 we can decide which profession villager will have. Village can be whatever I want. I've been collecting tons and tons of eggs, and will need those eggs to build the automatic chicken cooker. We start with a hopper, and we put a bottom slab on top. We put two dispensers like that. We need a comparator facing this way with the redstone dust like that. We need a redstone dust here, and we need a redstone torch here, and solid block on top. Yep, all is going well so far. Next we have to enclosure the area around the slab. It does not have to be glass, by the way, but building contraption walls out of glass is just a good practice, because you can see what is going on inside. Next we have to put a lava bucket into the top dispenser, and when there will be eggs in the bottom dispenser, our contraption will work like that. Yeah, when those chickens will grow up, their height will be just enough to reach the lava, and their drops will end up in this hopper and in the storage. Now we put 3 hoppers like that, and we enclosure the area about one of these hoppers. Temporarily, temporarily, we need to remove this redstone dust and put glass instead. And now we have to spam eggs into this hole. Like that, originally I was thinking about making 2 of these chicken chambers, but we are playing on this server, and having those extra entities when you don't really need them is not a good practice. Now we boom and place the redstone dust back here. Like that. Nice. Now we have to wait for those chickens to grow up, and once they grow up, they will lay the eggs. Eggs will be sucked by this hopper and end up in this dispenser, and then, let me show you. Whenever an egg is drawn even by a dispenser, there is a chance that it will spawn a baby chicken, and when it grows up, a new chicken will trigger the contraption. An adult chicken will be cooked up by the lava, the drops will be sucked by this hopper, and end up in our oven. Well, it's actually a dropper, but because it looks like a furnace from the top, you kinda expect it to be an oven in a kitchen. Let's go back to our villagers. We will need some spare villagers once 1.14 arrives, and rather than dropping our rejected villagers to the soup, we can keep rejected villagers in a temporary chamber. Speaking of rejected villagers, and our next contender is Nitwit. Bye. Diamond sword and breaking 3 sharpness 3. Yes, please. Alright, I was collecting the wither skulls off camera, and now we are in the end below the main portal. There is a trick in this game that allows you to trap the wither and not having to fight him properly. We built him like that, and the wither will be stuck in the bedrock, and he will not be able to retaliate. I hope? Yes. Nether star and a custom hat. Very fine. And boom, we have a beacon. And I've just realized that I don't have materials to fully power that beacon. Good job. For some reason, I have thought that having a haste 1 will be enough for me, but apparently no. If you want to feel the difference, you have to have haste 2 and efficiency 5. And something weird and bad just happened. Yesterday, I was about to check my villager-powered crop farm, and once I've got... Oh no. So, what happened? I went inside the farm. I saw 3 zombie villagers instead of my living villagers, and at the very same moment the electricity has been shut down. And as I understand, server hadn't realized yet that I was disconnected, and thus my in-game character was just standing there and waiting for the death. Well, at least my items are there. Or are they? Let me check. I'm not sure, but it looks like some of my items are gone. Nope, my items are still in the AFK chest. Nice. Fletcher, yes please. His traits are pretty useless, but he can farm crops and he will replace outdated villagers. Fisherman. Yep, pretty much the same. Oh, no! I hear zombie villager noises. Oh, could be worse. And this is that stupid hole why all of that happened. Bah! And here is our new farmer crew. And I have checked that there are no holes in the ceiling. And we can go around and free our villagers. And I have actually forgot to stock them up with carrots, but I think they can do that for themselves over time. And they're gone again! How? Why? How could this happen? You do not die. Here are your carrots. Surprised, I believe there are signs on your portal/tunnel. Alright. Well, it's not actually my tunnel. It was somebody else's tunnel I have just connected to. Let's check. There is this sign that tells that we have to take this facade down in order to work with the central network design. But the thing is, this is not my tunnel. These are not my resources. But the person who built it is not active anymore. You know what? I'll take this down and left the scavenged resources in his chest. Well, it looks not good, but at least it's hidden behind the wall and it's in compliance with the community nether tunnel. And here is where I'm going to have my own personal tunnel. As you can see, we are going to have our own tunnel going like that to the new area. And then it will go like that to our starter base. And while we're used now to go like that, and like that, and like that to the new area, the new path will be shorter, I think. What is that new area, you might be asking? Hello, Luck. And I'm not actually sure if this area isn't too small for our project. The idea is we are not abandoning the whole area, we still have that island, but that island is relatively small, and there are some farms in this game that cannot be decorated in a modern style we use at that island, and this area will be dedicated for those farms. And the first of those farms is the general hostile mob farm. The idea is that hostile mobs will spawn on those platforms and they will be flanked by the water. They will be flushed down to the magma blocks. For the most part, they should die due to the fall damage, but in case if they will survive, magma blocks will finish the job. Under the magma blocks, we have a hopper minecart moving back and forth, and if hopper minecart is on the rails, it can pick up the items through the blocks. Like that minecart picked up the items. And that minecart will end up at this contraption that will unload the minecart, and once minecart has no items left inside, it will be sent to collect more. And more drops will end up in this storage. And by the way, we have some issues already with this setup. Yeah, in the pure vanilla game, I should be standing in that chamber that is just 128 blocks away from the ground, and in that case, mobs will be able to spawn only in our mob farm, but not on the ground outside. However, this is Pigot, and thus everything functions in a slightly different way. And I still have not figured out what are exact rules that where mobs can spawn and despawn here. But when I stand in that chamber, mobs can spawn here, but it seems like they just despawn on the way down, I think. So, I have made a couple of tests, and it seems like this spot is where I should be standing to make my farm work somewhat decent. And now is the time to make a progress on the main building, and since I can't make a third-person time-lapse, I have decided to make a slideshow of a building progress. Let me know if you like the solution, or maybe I should try to make a first-person time-lapse instead. Maybe I should make an individual picture stay longer or shorter, or maybe should I try shaders? Maybe I should try to play with shaders all the time. And on the topic of shaders, while this PC can handle them, shaders are like with shaders you can place a single cobblestone block and it will look good just because of the shaders rather than because you have built something that looks cool. Alright, let's go back to the server. And this is how our building looks at this moment. It looks okay, but we need to make a terrain and scenery around it to get a full picture. But what I am really proud of is the interiors. Here we have a dinner table with a sofa, with a TV, no speakers though, and on the second floor we have an area to sit down, read some books, watch some TV. Yeah, that is supposed to be a TV. Here we have some lamps. Does it work like a lamp? This is actually a playhead, but that kinda works like a lamp from the back. In this house we have more rooms. Like this kitchen, we will have an oven, and this is where we are getting our cooked chicken from. Yeah. Next, here we have another room, and this is supposed to be a gym? What is the word in English? Basically, this is the room where you're supposed to jump, run around, and do your exercises in front of a window. In this corner, we are going to have some weights in the future. And by the way, the reason why we have carpets over here is because under the carpets we have a ceiling of a kitchen, right? And next we have our future storage room. You see, our storage system in another building is just too small to handle all the resources we are going to play with. In this chest we are going to store shulker boxes of stone, for example, of gravel, of sand, etc. Here we have our villager trading hall, where we have a pretty decent amount of villagers. And here we have plenty of emeralds. Maybe I'll get an emerald pecan pyramid eventually. And we have yet another place to visit. Behind this door. It's kinda like a balcony, and we can just stand here, walk around, look around. We can sit here. Yeah. And here we have an unfinished room that should give us an access to the villager breeder, and we can even see that we don't have any new villagers at this moment. He will have fake windows because even if sometimes it's cool to see the contraption behind the window, not in this case. For that window we have used a black concrete, but for this window we use shulker boxes. Yeah, shulker boxes as a decorative block. Isn't that the greatest thing ever? Just because glass panes don't connect to shulker boxes, but they do connect to black concrete, and we don't have enough room to space them out. And here is yet another glance at our main building. I'm not actually sure what to do with that villager Brita. I was trying to design a tower around it, but it wasn't looking good. Maybe I'll just wait for 1.14 and remove this thing. But unfortunately, this is the end of this video, and if you have enjoyed it, look away from the shiny screen, and when you will finish with your eye break, leave a like and subscribe if you're new. It will really help my channel. Bye bye.